Have you ever wanted to partner with Navigator9 Podcast and feature your brand on our episode? Make sure to send us an email at navigator9podcast@gmail.com and let's partner together. We have different tiers that can help you become successful. Make sure to hit us up and we'll catch you in the email. On to the episode. Hello, everybody. It's Annika LaQuette here, the host and creator of Navigator9 Podcast. And I am so excited because I have my girl on. She's all the way from Australia. Yes, I'm so excited, y'all. Like literally, you are our first Australian lady up here. I'm so excited. Yes,
I'm excited. My goodness.
Yes, I'm so excited too. But yes, y'all, if you are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you will not miss any of our episodes. We post on Mondays at 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey, undeniable. So y'all, let's get into it. Let's get her to introduce herself. This is Amanda. Hey, Amanda.
Hello. I am really, really excited to be here. And did you know, because I'm in Australia, I'm in the future?
Yes, you are. How many hours are you ahead of me?
So it is 3 a.m. here in Brisbane where I am. So let's do the math. Okay. What does that make it?
Yeah, that's hours because it's 12 o'clock here. So I'm like, my brain ain't on right now.
I know. It's the following day.
Yeah,
does that make it? 12, 13, 14, 15. That sounds about right.
15 hours. Oh my gosh, you're like literally in the next day. That's so cool.
It's wild. I love it.
I'm excited too. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those who do not know you.
Absolutely. So Amanda, so I run a consultancy here in Australia called Imagine8 Consulting. So we help businesses build systems and processes to help them run their business independently of them. So we create business playbooks. So the idea is that you can take your business playbook, hand it to anyone that has business acumen, and they could run the business for you. So for founders, for operations managers, general managers, the beauty of that is that you can actually step away from your business to, take a break, work on other projects or work on that higher level strategy stuff. So it's really cool.
Wow. That's really cool. I love that. So like, okay, what was your defining moment when you realized, you know what, I need to create Imagine8? Like, tell us about that.
So for me, I started off as a coach, trainer, facilitator. So I was out in the corporate world and I saw really well-intentioned people wanting to do a great job, but they weren't always supported by two things. So leadership. So they didn't always have the right leaders in the right seats to help them out. And the second thing was they didn't have the right systems and processes to set them up for success. So I've done a lot of leadership work with new and upcoming leaders to help them be the best possible leader that they can be. And there's a lot of people doing that out in the wild. And I did notice that there was a bit of a gap in the market around systems and processes and these business playbooks. So I went down that path for two reasons, because I noticed that there was an opportunity there. So we built Imagine8. Right. But for me, I'm a massive Disney fan. And
Same.
I had right. Oh, respect Disney. And I had my mentor at the time, who was an ex-Disney VP, come out, and his wife came out, and she was ex-Disney as well. Both super smart, switched on humans. And she said to me, the thing is, Amanda, Disney don't actually create magic. They just have really incredible systems and processes. And at first I was like, no, don't tell me that. It's really magic. My heart was a little bit broken. But then I was like, no, you're 100% correct. And then what if we could install the same or the equivalent operating system in businesses so they could create that same circumstance for their clients, for their leaders, and for their team members? So that was kind of the little nugget in my brain that was eating away at me for a while as well.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. Because like, okay, when someone, it's basically like saying, if you have like a magic trick and then someone tells you the trick, you're like, dang it, don't tell me the trick. But then you realize, hold on, I could apply this to my life. So I like how you flip that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really
you nailed
smart.
it. And it took me a little while to get there. Once I
Yeah.
got there, I was like, yeah, okay, I can work with this. Definitely.
Right. I understand that. So, before like launching Imagine8, what's like a personal experience or professional experience that shaped your belief in your model? Because I love the motto, dream, design, develop. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, look, so I remember sitting there with my team. So I had a my own personal brand. So it was the Amanda Rosazza show for such a long time because I'd come up as,
Mhm.
a trainer, coach, facilitator, and I wanted to transition into having that company brand. And I sat there with the team and, we were talking about, okay, what do we do here? Because
Right.
we had originally started doing a lot of corporate training development. So developing training programs, whether
Mhm.
it was me delivering it, someone in house delivering it, or it going up
Yeah.
into their learning management system. And we sat there for quite a long time, and we help people dream. So we help them have
Mhm.
these develop, not develop yet, but have these incredible ideas and maybe think outside the box of what they thought was possible. Then we help
Yeah.
them to design that in a practical way. So how do we implement that so we can use it out in the wild, and then
Right.
develop their people? It was basically how we came to that. That's how it all started. And the name Imagine8 actually has a bit of a funny story. So there's a
Okay.
band here in Australia called Taxi Ride who were popular, I want to say, in the early 2000s, and their
Okay.
first album was called Imagine8, except it was spelt a
Okay.
little bit differently. And we help people imaginate. So, and that was
I
how that
like
really
that.
came about. I think there was a movie. I think it was Kirsten Dunst and Matthew Broderick, and it was about maybe a school presidential candidate, and I think it was called
Hmm.
Dick. Don't quote me on that, but I think that
Hmm.
their first single, at least in Australia, was attached to that movie, and it was called Get Set. There
Okay.
you go. Some fun pop
Yeah.
culture trivia on the name.
I love that. That's really cool. I love like the play on like when businesses come together and they think of their business name and you like, what did you like? How did you come up with that? And you really like strategically thought about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, we
I
did.
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. That's really cool. When did you think back? So this take all the way back to the dream phase of Imagine8. How different was the original version versus what's going on today?
So I think so. We've definitely come quite a ways. So
Mhm.
now, so those rules still apply. So
Okay.
it's all about, I think it's about educating business owners about what's possible, because I think a
Right.
lot of founders or anyone in a position of leadership, they think they have to carry so much of the weight themselves. Whereas if
Yes.
they, right? Whereas if they actually
Mhm.
sat down and developed their playbook, their business operating system,
Mhm.
that takes a lot of the weight off them. And a lot of it is, if you sit down, I always like to say, what does your Monday morning look like? How many
Okay.
questions are you being asked? How many decisions fall back to you? You should realistically, as the founder, get your business to the point where no one's bothering you on a Monday morning and you can just get done what you need to get done, even if that is sitting by the pool or that is doing a
Mhm.
podcast interview or whatever it actually is that helps you move
Right.
the needle forward. It is absolutely possible. And I think, we think in that hustle mindset, which is awesome because it gets you off the ground and you need to move fast
Right.
based on what you
Mhm.
know, especially in those early stages. But then you can implement systems process, your own personal operating system that can take some of the
Mhm.
weight off.
Yes, I agree. And speaking of founders, because we talked about that a little bit, many founders assume scaling makes things easier. Okay. But you spoke often about how operational problems are more expensive. What was the first scaling mistake that taught you a lesson?
Oh my goodness, probably hiring too quickly. I think
Mm,
so. Right. So
yes.
a lot of us think, okay, I'm really busy. Instead of asking the question, how can I do this more effectively or efficiently myself first? We're like, okay, I got to hire someone. So, and I
Right.
see a lot of us make, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. It's just that is the logical thing that we know and that we're taught, right? We go and
Hmm.
we need to, we're getting overwhelmed. We need to go and hire someone. But the truth is, the first thing you should do is look at your systems and your processes. Is there something in there that you can actually shift or change or make more effective? It could be that there's a piece of software or an AI agent or something that can help you with that before you go and hire. So that was definitely the mistake that I made. And I wouldn't
Right.
say it didn't hold me back as such, but it definitely slowed me down from moving as quickly from a growth perspective and definitely from a profitability perspective.
I agree. Yeah, hiring like early, that is, yeah, one of the biggest problems because a lot of people say, yeah, you make sure that you like what is it called? It's a word for it. Delegate. Make sure you delegate like different things within your business so you won't be stressed out. However, everybody's not meant to work for you. Okay?
That's
So
right.
I
That's
agree
it.
on that. Yes, I agree. Most definitely. What is like the early warning signs that a business is growing faster than the systems they can handle?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that'll show up. So the first one, yes, you're getting asked all these questions, and
Hmm.
you get to say, most founders are starting their day pretty early, maybe 4 or 5
Yep.
in the morning. They'll get
Right.
12 hours into their day, and by the time they've put out all the fires and answered all the questions and made all the decisions, they haven't even started on their own work. That's one of the
No.
first things you would expect to see. Then the other most common one, which is more, I guess, forward facing or out in public, your delivery starts to suffer. So
It's true.
where you were across everything and you were delivering to a really high standard, maybe you're not delivering to that high standard, or maybe we're not setting expectations with our clients, or maybe we're saying yes to things when we should be setting boundaries around things. So
Hmm.
that's where the cracks can definitely start to show. So you're not getting the things done you need to do because you're putting out fires along the way, and our delivery will definitely start to suffer as well.
Yeah, agreed. A lot of yeah, it's all trial and error. I would say, like starting a business, and even like when you realize, okay, I got the structure, everything is good, but then something happens, and you're like, hold on. So trial
Mm-hmm.
and error. I definitely, I
Exactly.
agree with that. Yes, most definitely. At
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right, yes. And at what point did you realize that growth without structure can actually create chaos rather than freedom?
So I think for me, so it would have been, I would have hired my first couple of team members,
Hmm.
and we had fairly robust systems and processes. But exactly to your point, we would start, the more diverse clients we started working with different needs, curveballs would start coming in. Oh, this
Yes.
person wants to work this way. And instead
Right.
of going, well, no, this is our system, this is our process, this is how we work, I would say yes to everything. Right?
Right.
Right? And that's on me. And what ended up happening was, because ultimately we have worked with clients that want really high touch, that and they want access to me all the time, and
Mhm.
they want uh, and these are outliers. There'll be clients that don't want to be involved in the production of their product or their playbook, And that makes it really difficult for us to create a great outcome for them. So if I had systems and processes before I brought these clients on board, we wouldn't be getting 3/4 of the way into projects and having them disappointed because they're not getting what they want because we didn't have clear communication up front. Now we have really robust systems and processes around that and saying, hey, am I a good fit for you? And are you a good fit for me in terms of what your expectations are around what the finished product's going to look like, how much you have to actually contribute, when we need you to contribute. So I think that was probably my biggest revelation around that for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And I always tell this with people because when I was in college and I graduated with mass communications, the main thing was communication. And you had to constantly communicate. If even if you think something about to happen, communicate. If you think something like good, even people like updates, and also working in public relations, people, they need updates often,
Yes,
So
absolutely.
When I say I understand exactly what you're saying, I get it. So it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And it's trial and error, literally.
That's it. And don't be afraid. We say trial and error, and that sounds a little bit terrifying because you're not assured of the outcome. But please go and break some stuff, go and try some stuff, because we don't learn until we do that, right?
Yes, I agree. So, what does it truly mean to build a business that doesn't depend on one person to survive, especially the visionary founder? Because I know you spoke a little bit about that, but get a little bit more into that.
Yeah, sure. So it's I know I keep saying this, but for the foundation of this part, systems and processes. So your team should know. So when we're building a playbook, this may be helpful. So the playbook is divided into 4 parts. So the first part is the business DNA. So who are we? Why do we do what we do? And how do we do it? So that's really, especially for new people that are joining the organization, indoctrinating them into your culture, how you do things, why you do things, really sets people up to win. So the business DNA is the first thing. The second thing is the people. So you need to be clear on who is responsible and accountable to what, and who reports to who, how decisions get made, when they need to be escalated, what parameters, if I'm, say, a marketing associate, what parameters do I have to work in? What am I responsible for? Who am I accountable to? Or what am I accountable to? What are my KPIs? All of those things, so that by the end of week 1, someone knows how to win in that role, or anytime they can come back and check and they know how to win in that role. So you've got to set your people up for success, and also having some kind of people hub so that I know who's on the team and who I can go to if I have questions.
Right.
The third thing is policies. So all the HR stuff. So making sure that we have all of our policies in place. Everyone rolls their eyes when I talk about this part, but it is really important. And that makes a really important part of your playbook as well. And finally, the part that you would most expect is your procedures and your workflows. So how do we get things done? So at a high level, you would have your different departments, then you would have workflows within that department, and then you have standard operating procedures for each part of that workflow. And they should be in place with frequently asked questions, if this, then that scenarios, if there's an outlying random thing that could happen once every 2 years, it should still be in there in the troubleshooting sections. So and one thing that I always instill in my clients is your playbook is a living, breathing organism. Your business doesn't sit in a black hole or in stasis or in it doesn't sit in this place where it's not constantly reacting and responding to what's going on externally. So it's really important that you're updating that playbook whenever anything changes, when new opportunities present themselves, so that you are setting everybody up for success. Now, when you have this in place, What that means as a founder is that you can, turn your phone off for 3 days because your team leaders, your operations manager, whoever it is, your general manager will know, oh, if this happens and I'm not sure what to do, I can go to that playbook because all the contingencies that are there, the policies, the procedures, the people. Let's say the pay run didn't work, for example. They can jump in and they can go, okay, I know that I can contact our CFO, our financial accountant, whoever it might be, to get help with that. They don't have to jump on the phone, because traditionally they would jump on the phone and interrupt your long weekend, right? 100%. Right. So it allows you to step away. It allows you to work on those larger projects that are going to move the needle forward in the business. It allows you to get out there. It could be something as simple as going to a networking lunch and being able to be present, listening to the speaker or being the speaker. It might even be the case. It allows you to focus on those bigger things to allow you to move the needle forward. And finally, it's really just about, it gives you breathing room. It gives you breathing room to be creative, to work on other projects. If you want it, you don't have to. If you wanted to start another business venture because you know this one's taken care of, then you can. You've got the space to do that. But it's about giving you that space.
Yeah, I love that whole playbook idea. So now I'm about to revert to another question because that's not on my sheet. How does a person find brand identity? Because I feel like that's one of the hardest things, especially when it comes to business and also content creating or whatever you want to do. The brand identity is always the hardest thing. So tell us a little bit how you did it.
Yeah, look, I get asked this a lot. I'm by no means an expert. I mean, I literally studied the same degree as you. I did a Bachelor of Mass Communication back in the day. Okay. I know. I remember when you said public relations, I was like, oh, it's all coming back to me. So, that's my background, more sort of media. But I guess what are the things? So think about when we first decided what was our brand going to be about. What are our non-negotiables? What do we believe in? So we sat down and asked that question. We believe that, yes, work can be fun when you have the right systems and processes in place, when you have great leadership, when you set people up for success. And then, so we sort of what are our non-negotiables? What do we believe in? Who do we want to work with? What type of people, what type of organizations do we want to work with? And then there was a little bit of, I guess, because it was off the back of my personal brand, I'm big into my, punk, pink sort of stuff. So that really shines through in our logo. Pop culture references. I've got my friend's shirt on here, pivot, follow the playbook. That's a friend's reference. So that, things like that appear. I've really just sort of done it by the seat of my pants. But I think the biggest things are understanding who you are, what you stand for, and then having, so even just, the 4 steps to build your business playbook, that having those frameworks, and, I know it's a bit like, I've got 1,000 frameworks to do different things. I think when you have those, it makes it really easy to do your social media and your marketing, because you can speak to solutions. And also the other thing I would say is really understanding the pain that your ideal clients are in. So understanding exactly what we've been talking about, the pain that the founder's in, the pain that that general manager's in that hasn't been able to even make his morning coffee yet because he's been too busy answering questions from the team. And, it's not that, understanding that they are doing the best they can with what they've got, and we can give them this thing or help them create this thing, systems, processes, playbooks that can free them from that. So I think understanding your target audience as well is really good. On the subject of branding, I'm literally about to read Ryan Serhant's book here, Brand It Like Serhant, because I was curious to dig into that
get
because
that book.
yeah, get Ryan. So he's very, very good at branding. So into that, and that was something we wanted to sort of take to the next level this year in terms of visibility and being seen and getting out there a little bit more. So there's one, if you're interested in branding, listen to me and then go check that out maybe.
Yes. Please listen, y'all, because you are dropping so many gems because you're making me realize, like, yeah, branding is very important. Also, like, the whole process about brand DNA, like documentations, like taking your time and hiring the right people, like everything that these people need to listen to. I hope y'all listening, okay? Because she is giving a lot of information that is very helpful. So I love that. So thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Yes, you're
Absolute
welcome.
pleasure.
Yes, of course. I'll give you 5 seconds to send us an email saying that you want to be a partner with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, if someone wants to apply the dream design developed inside their operations, not just branding, what practical first step would you tell them to take?
Yeah, so I think so in business, here's another thing that I talk about. So we need to, so in that dreaming scenario, are we on a mission or an adventure? So business as usual. So what you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to pay the bills, grow the business, bring more people in, serve the people, turn them into raving fans. That's mission. That's mission critical stuff.
Okay.
They're the things we do every day. Then there's the adventure stuff. So that's the experimentation. That's maybe creating a new type of YouTube video. That is trying a different process or system. So the majority of what you should be doing is your mission stuff, especially if you're still in that rapid building phase where you're stabilizing cash flow. 98% of what you should be doing should be mission. As you start to stabilize, you build in these systems and processes and you bake that into your DNA. What's really cool is then you can do more of this adventure stuff. So we can do some more experimentation. So in your dream phase, that's where we sort of decide, okay, are we on a mission or are we on an adventure? If it's mission, what do we need to tweak to improve the outcome of the mission? If we're on an adventure, we should still have an outcome that we're striving for. So there should still be something that will move the needle forward for the business that we're coming to.
Agreed.
I've seen a lot of founders, I'm sure you've seen this as well. When we get to that adventure phase, some people do a lot of sort of self-indulgent sort of stuff. And I always question it. I'm like, should this be attached to your business or should it be over here? Maybe business adjacent. But yeah, so just think about, is this, as much as it's an experiment and we're going on a bit of an adventure, is it something that's going to move the needle forward for the business? Because we still need, the business needs to be our number one priority. So dream, design. So be intentional about everything that you do. If you're designing a new marketing campaign, you're branding, if you're looking at a new way of doing your marketing, be intentional in your design. So always begin with the end in mind. So what outcome am I working towards? What is my solvable problem? What is the thing that I want to get to? And you can work backwards from there. Remembering that, and this is the fun part, they don't tell us about business, you're not going to land on the solution straight away. You might be exceptionally lucky and land on the right solution straight away. But like we were saying before, trial and error, experiment. And this is where a little bit of that adventure aspect comes into it. You will need to pivot. You will need to test, trial, make little tweaks to get towards the outcome that you're looking for. And then develop, making sure you're developing yourself, developing your team, making sure that everyone has what they need to set them up to win, no matter what their role is in the organization.
Yes. When you said pivot, I felt that in my spirit. Okay?
Oh,
Because
yes.
there's one thing that people do not tell you. This is the part where people give up on their business. That pivoting part. Because when you see that something is not working no more, you like, wait a minute, I think it's time for me to quit the business. Or if you are new to business and that pivot where you got to pivot around and like maybe market differently, that's where like about 50% of people stop because they feel like it's going to be harder than what it is. Not only that, they don't know what's on the other side. So when you said pivot and you kept going, I agree. I
Right.
agree to that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of business, like business is going to make you extremely uncomfortable a lot of the time.
Yes.
So I think having staying power in business is in direct proportion to your ability or your willingness to be uncomfortable. So, or maybe not uncomfortable, but not knowing what's on the other side of that pivot or that mountain that you can't see beyond. So yeah, I think that if you want to have staying power, you've got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes, you do. I agree with
Yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And my next thing for you is, do you have any upcoming projects that you're working on that you would like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing, so we know traditionally we have worked with clients in a done for you basis. So we're actually launching a new product called the Business Playbook Accelerator, which is a done with you style scenario. So you spend 90 days in our little playbook incubator with myself and my team, and you basically follow that process that I just laid out for you. So the 4 steps to build your business playbook, and we are there with you every step of the way. So we have a community and we have weekly coaching calls. So basically at the end of 90 days, you will have your business playbook built.
Wow, I love that. Come on, 90 days. I love that. Like staying with the client is, because when you need some motivation or a mentor and you like, okay, I don't know what to do, here comes Imagine8. So I
That's it.
love that. That's great. So lastly, give yourself a huge shout out. Tell everyone where they can follow you and everything.
Absolutely. So, the best place to stalk me is on LinkedIn. So Amanda Rosazza. So just search for me. I think there's only one of me. So ROSAZZA, Amanda Rosazza on LinkedIn. Also come check out our website. We are Imagine8.com. So it's the word imagine with an 8 at the end. So come and check that out too.
That is so
You'll
cool.
find me on all the other socials as well. Just search for my name.
Yes, that's it. Because she is very easy to find. So go ahead, y'all, and support her. She's doing amazing things. I'm so proud of her. Just amazing. Yes. So I want to thank you so much. You're welcome. I want to thank you so much for coming on Navigator9 podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me, and stay awesome, everyone.
Yes, of course. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave denied. I'm your host, Annika Laquette, and you just listened to Navigator9 podcast with Amanda. Bye, y'all. You're not going to deny subscription. It's a whole new season and you're still playing. Click here to subscribe and click here for more episodes because we want to see you and become undeniable with us. Period.